Good morning, everyone. And it's great to have every one of you in the room for us to have this interesting conversation. Honestly, I think the session with Juliet, a lot has been said, and doing justice to this conversation, this panel conversation. And I'm so excited to have you all. Pretty much, Amma, hi, how are you? Um, do you have a mic close to you? Okay. So we just quickly run through introductions. Tell us you came all the way from Ghana, and yourself and Francis. I'll take Amma first, then Francis, and then of course Moses and Femi. Then we get straight into the conversations. Thank you.
Okay, hi, hello, good morning. Thank you so much for the invitation and the warm welcome so far. I'm loving Lagos. It meets my expectations. Okay, so I'm Ablode. I've got my full government name is Epiphania Sarah Amablode. They just call me Amablode. So I'm the creative director of Push Studios. So we're into media and marketing based in Ghana. I arrived this dawn and I'm excited to be part of this summit. I'm looking to network and to create business and friendship moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis.
Hello, my name is Francis Y. Brown. I'm the creative director and also the founder of Animax FYB Studios. Animax FYB Studios is one of Africa's premium animation hub based in Accra. We work in 2D, 3D, and also visual effects for films. I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to connect with you all. Thank you.
All right. So I will just quickly ask Moses to introduce himself, and then Femi as well.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Moses Babatope. I'm the Group CEO of Now Media Entertainment Group, a new media entertainment company headquartered in Lagos, Nigeria, focusing on the film value chain, exhibition, distribution, and production, as well as a foundation to give back in terms of knowledge and information sharing on the film industry.
Thank you, Femi.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Oluwafemi Ogundoro, the CEO of Maxima Media Group. So it's an integrated media marketing communications group. So we have an agency, we have production and platforms. We also have a TV station on StarTimes platform.
All right, thank you. So everyone on this panel, pretty much, we have Nigerians and Ghanaians, and what we actually want to, talk about is the collaboration. So Juliet has set a very good foundation for this conversation this morning, and essentially, we just want to, touch on the key issues because, right, there were actually things like Boyega said 10 years ago. I was working actively in distribution, and I used to manage some Ghanaian producers. So I used to frequent Accra as well because, yes, I commissioned also some Ghanaian producers. I was working with an international distribution company at the time. And the key thing for me as an acquisitions manager then was that when I am acquiring content, for the sales team, you could hardly differentiate between Nigerian films and Ghanaian films because you have both actors, you have directors, you have that collaboration. So when I'm presenting a catalog as a Nollywood catalog, and there are films from Ghana, actually everybody takes it as the same, right? But we've moved away from that. And I think it has impacted also negatively to both industries. And that's why we actually want to talk about this. I'm going to start with you, Femi, because Femi, I know you do a lot in Ghana. Many people in this room will not know, but as far back as 2011, right, I remember when we were in this cup in Accra, right, and producers from Nigeria all went to maybe like 50 producers, and that's actually where MCOAN, which is one of the major producer associations in Nigeria today, it was actually better in Accra. That's what a lot of people don't know, yes. So, and I was also happy to be there, though I'm not a producer, but I was part of, seeing all those things happening back over a decade ago. So, Femi, can you just take us through that story and why we are no longer at that place where we are doing a lot in terms of collaborations between Nigeria and Ghana?
Thank you, Jama. I would say I'm really impressed with the honorable minister and the delegation from Ghana. As he was delivering his speech, I was just thinking about all we went through in trying to cultivate the market. I think my first time in Ghana would be 2006. Yeah. And then I was part of the project that brought about the likes of Lydia Forsin and the rest of them at the time. Fast forward to about 2010, we got registered as a business in Ghana. Yeah, we went through the works, getting Ghanaians to be directors and the rest. I think 2013, because I mean, Ghana, I'm really impressed with the market. Ghana, yes, I'm very impressed with what has happened because Ghana was like way back not as developed as they are right now, and they're very deliberate in bringing all of that together. Nigerians would go in there, TV producers, film producers. We went in there, produced different things. In 2012, 2013, we did an activation in partnership with Varsat One. I'm sure you can remember Varsat One. I think we sunk in about $150,000 at the time. We lost the money. It was very difficult getting sponsorship at that time because we were not, locals. You go make presentations, they love the idea, they saw the numbers. We had activations across board, Tamale, Cape Coast, and the rest. But then I feel Ghana as a market just wants to protect what they have. Is it a bad thing? I don't think so. Just like Juliet mentioned earlier, it's about structure. It's about ensuring that you follow the due process. And I know that we were doing a lot of drama series because we flew in Jocelyn Dumas for one of our productions in 2015, uh, Alison Stand, just so that we could create that collaboration, But then, if the government first needs to create that enabling environment. One, two, the people also just felt like Ghanaians, you bully us so much. Yes, Nigerians are very proud
Sorry,
people.
who's the bully?
Nigerians, of course. I mean, Nigerians are very. Wherever Nigerians are, you can feel it. We're unapologetically confident. So we come in there, we tell you, and if Ghanaians see that sometimes, because some Ghanaians, not all, just feel threatened, and I think that created a bit of it. But I mean, I don't want to delve into the issues, but I think I'm excited to see that finally some of the investments that we are making there can, because we still run Maxima in Ghana. We have a COO in Ghana. We had for the Food Bay TV has been producing in Ghana. We had an activation in Ghana about 2 years ago for street food. So we have Street Foods Niger, we have Street Foods Ghana, which is the Ghanaians just don't want that thing or content to be completely foreign. And I don't think it's a bad thing. So global marketing strategy might not necessarily work in the market. That's what we have seen. You need to localize whatever content if you really want to include Ghanaians in what you're doing.
Local content infusion. Thank you so much. I think that also, speaks. Oh, okay. Interesting. Danny Dama, all the way for Los Angeles. She's actually joining us. Danny, can you hear us? And he was supposed to fly in to be on this panel, but he wasn't able to make it. Danny, can you say hello to us if you can hear us? There's no audio coming from you. Okay, so we just get on with the conversation. Hoping they'll be able to sort out the technical issues there. So Moses, also you have a history with Ghana. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, and thank you for your submission and your experience. And I think in these conversations, we would have to be, of course, careful not to be political, but we also need to address some of the issues that have plagued what could have been an explosive, partnership. And I think there's still real opportunity for that to happen. And it's great that we have this platform to start off. I think people forget the 2008, 2010, Leila Jansi, Ties That Bind, Sinking Sands. There were some really, really great productions coming out of Ghana. Like it seemed from the mid 2000s where there was a lot of Nigerian, Ghanaian collaborations. Just took it to the next level, and then you had Shirley, come up, and the films were really, really, really strong, and that birthed, a new generation of stars, and then you get into 6 Hours to Christmas, you get into House of Gold, you get to Cheetah, you get to Devil in the Detail, you get to 2017 Potato Potato, you get if 2016 Ghana Must Go, Yvonne Okoro. You had succession of hit films that were doing well in Nigeria and in Ghana, and it was doing well seamlessly. But for some reason, complacency on one hand, and I have to say, without patting a shot at my Ghanaian brothers and sisters, I think between complacency and some kind of protectionist ideologies, or with a film industry that was essentially very, very independent. On both sides, it's independent. Nobody has really had the kind of institutional support that it requires to blossom. Um, I think that then hindered the growth on the Ghanaian side. That's essentially what we saw. That suddenly films that would normally do well, even being Nigerian films, also not being taken and not being seen, or wanting to be seen. And then there were also issues around productions and production becoming expensive and becoming a little not unfriendly. And I think those things affected what was a very organic, relationship. But it's great to see over the last 2, 3 years, and I have to credit Juliet for the intentional approach of seeing that we can actually build regional industries. Even before we try to take the whole of Africa, we have so many similarities. The stories and the experiences are very, very similar, and it starts by doing something more strategic with like a government parastatal like the Film Authority, and that's where things like the Africa Cinema Summit and having the delegation here is very, very important so that we can understand ourselves better. We can speak truth to some issues, and we can do our best to kind of fight the barriers that exist, and we can share the information that all these films I've listed are not figments of imagination. Is what has happened. There's been proven success, with the collaborations, and we've made stars. Jocelyn Dumas has millions of followers. I believe, what's his name? John Dumelo, who's going to polish on here. Yeah, Majid Michel, who is going into, I think, is in one of the big blockbusters coming out December. And then on the Nigerian divide, you also have superstars. So I think that if we can get past all the issues without letting them become scars and getting into future conversations, I think there's a real big opportunity, not only locally but even in the diaspora. So and that's another topic entirely. And I hope that we go beyond just showmanship, where we're showing here and it's another box that's been ticked, to really progressively and in our own various pockets, find ways to truly work together.
Thank you. Amma, so yeah, the Ghanaian perspective to all these things.
Yes.
The Nigerians have been hitting very hard, so
Yes,
it's good to
I
also
kept,
hear.
I kept wondering, okay, so should I become defensive or not? But I think that two things can be correct. I agree with what Femi said to an extent, that we seem to be protective of our TEF. I would say yes and no to that, because we also have an influx of foreign content in Ghana, that we have Ghanaian filmmakers and actors and actresses being so concerned. There was a time that we even staged a protest against that, and the concern
Sorry,
was
so
how
against Nigerians?
no,
or
not
generally?
Nigerians, but the influx of foreign content, especially on prime time on television. And the main concern was how localized this influx of foreign content had become. So if you watch primetime television in Ghana now, you're likely to see an Indian telenovela or a Venezuelan, Mexican, and it's been dubbed into our local languages, which means it's reaching more of the masses. It's captured all over. And after these shows, they have talk shows, people call in and they're so defensive over the characters, giving them advice and whatnot. So it's not so true that we are so protective of it because the audience like it. They're falling in love with it, and as filmmakers, we are concerned about that. But we are still open to working with other people, especially Nigerians. Now that brings me to where Moses said we have proven records that collaborating with each other yields a lot of success. That's how we got to know, fell in love with Genevieve Naji or Motola, Emeka Ike, Ramsey Noah. I have my own story about that. Calling this number because I wanted to speak to him. But um, with with that success, I also agree that there was a level of complacency on, I wouldn't say only on Ghana's part, but both parts. We didn't build on it. I think at a point it became more of an individual interest. Ghana was looking out for themselves, Nigerians were looking out for themselves, and we stopped holding each other's hands. But it's not too late. This is why we are here discussing how we can come back to that moment and become bigger than we've ever been. I think Nigeria is doing a fantastic job, but you can do an even better job working with us, and then we can extend the same collaborations to other partners because that's how we can protect our industry. Otherwise, we're going to go back to where we're coming from, where foreign content just took over our audience and we won't have any place. So let's come together and work together to be better. Now, Nigeria has also been very protective of your market. I have so many experiences from close friends, colleagues, and senior colleagues, some of whom you've mentioned here, that I know firsthand some of the challenges they've had trying to come to Nigeria and also in other industries as well. Actually, the other industries affected a close family as well. So we know that when it comes to business, everybody protects their market. This is a challenge that we are having. The film industry is suffering this. The music industry complains of that as well. That Nigeria is, that Ghana accepts and soaks in everything from Nigeria. Yes, there was a time where you hear Ghanaian say mama instead of mama. We say mama, but now we're saying mama to Fiakwa. We said everything. Nigerians really, you got to us and we absorbed everything that you gave us. We want to be also to give you some of ours and then you can give it. Let's share it, not just jollof. Let's do more than that.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to come back to you. Have a question, but let me take Francis. Let me take your perspective on this conversation.
All right, it's a very interesting one. As Moses said, it can easily become very political, but I'm coming from a different
Yeah,
industry,
yeah.
which is more about animation and it's very budding. It's a budding one on the continent. And one thing that I've realized about it is uh, the players that we are in that particular industry, we are quite inward, where we are chasing something that is the word the first. So it makes us not look at ourselves in a way where we see collaboration. We want to be the first to have broken the boundary, first to have collaborated with this big studio, that studio, this studio. And all of these people are very Western and also foreign studios who do not also give us the leverage or the chance to build our own distribution channels. We are we tend to not see the numbers that we have or the power that we have on the continent. And when I'm talking even this, I'll extend it to other countries, not just Nigeria. Um, Intra-Africa trade, where we see Africa as one country. Animation is a very universal language. That's why if there is any big animation that is released, it gets billions of dollars. So it means that we need to kind of look at ourselves as, oh, you have this talent pool, I have this talent pool. We can come together and produce it. With that, we can also leverage on our population and build our market through that. But we want to be even a singular studio, one studio that made it happen from our country. And this has been the case with a lot of Nigerian studios from my point of view. Uh, I've met with Nigerians a lot. I've worked with a lot of Nigerians. As Julius said, in my studio, about 60% of my workforce is from Nigeria. That is how much I love Nigerian talent. But the but is the moment, and I also ask myself, why is it that Nigerians are not collaborating with each other? When they come to Ghana, they work perfect, but when they are back home here, they don't want to even work with that same person who sat in my studio and they were working next to each other. And it's a very weird situation that I'm trying to figure out. um, yeah, so that is it. We go to ANSI. ANSI is the world biggest platform for animation at France, in France. And we've been there like 3 consecutive years where we had our booth. We all had our booth for the first time there. And we sort of, we are just opposite each other when it comes to the pavilions. But the funny thing is, we don't even interact. We are chasing the Belgians, the French co-producers. The like we hardly talk to ourselves. That hey, what are you doing? How can I plug in? What am I doing? How can you plug in? Hello? Okay, so I think it's more about the mindset first, and also how we are not seeing the potential in ourselves than always looking at someone to come and save us.
Thank you so much, Francis. And just speaking to, thank you. Yeah, it's very interesting because last year I was in Annecy and I wasn't here there this year, and I saw the Ghanaian booth and the Nigerian booth. Of course, thanks to the French embassy in Nigeria that has been supporting both Ghanaians and Nigerians to Annecy. I hope I'm correct. I know about Nigeria, but I don't know about Ghana, but I know that the French embassy, the same. Oh, wow, that's the guy over there, Christophe. Thank you for the support of the French embassy, helping the animation industry. But yeah, just speaking to what you said, I actually noticed that there is no, everybody's just doing their thing, and I'm a very strong proponent of Pan Africanism because we can't, Africans go to Cannes, go to America, go to Berlin, go to Annecy, and at the end of the day, just 1 hour flight from here, and there's nothing is happening. It doesn't, So, and whoever divided Africa into East, West, North, and South, we still need to question that because at the end of the day, they have actually put both mental and psychological boundaries that have not allowed us to work together, and that is the reason why we're having this kind of conversation. Like you rightly said, Juliet, if we can everyone in this room, trend Nigeria Ghana collaborations, I think we can actually start to use the power of media to begin to correct some of these things. Juliet, you want to say something before? Oh, sorry, we have Danny from LA. Danny, can you hear us now? Can we have audio for Danny? No, we can't hear you. We'll keep trying. Okay. So Juliet, I'll come back to you again. Yeah. So we've been talking about. Of course, you've spoken extensively already in your panel. But at the end of the day, you are from the government, and we're trying to bridge that gap between the private sector and the industries between Ghana and Nigeria, and also to ensure that whatever happened 10 years, 15 years back, we're able to bring back that energy and begin to see more and more. Like I said, I also, I think I distributed it Silver Rain. I'm not quite sure now, but in those days, right, you put Nigerian films and it has Ghanaian faces and Nigerian faces, and there's no difference. You can't even say this is a Nigerian film or this is a Ghanaian film, right? So it was so strong that our identities were the same. So, from your own perspective, what are the things, this is one of them. What are the other things that you feel should be done to bring back that collaboration?
Thank you so much, my friend and my sister. The collaboration has begun right there. And I'm also glad to see my brother Moses on this panel. We have collaborated on so many levels. I think because you mentioned policy, I want to push it a step further and say we can also begin to push our governments. For instance, I'm glad that between Ghana and Nigeria, you don't need a visa. But for all of Africa, you know, you shouldn't need a visa to travel across Africa. I know Rwanda is doing that. I know other countries. We are certainly working on that as well. Our president has said so for all of Africa. So that's important. I think just outside, I was talking to a gentleman who said he came to the All Africa Games and it was so difficult traveling by road. Both sides of the border. In fact, one of the film, this just to tell you how committed we are to this agenda. Someone from the film industry in the northern part of Ghana traveled all the way by road to come to this conference. I don't know if he's in the room right now. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how committed we are to this agenda. I'm yet to hear his story about how difficult it was to travel by road. So, sometimes it's even more difficult, easier to travel to US or Europe than to travel between Ghana and Nigeria. Luckily, we have many flights between us. It's 40 minutes. I remember there was a time I was going to Cameroon and I had to go all the way to Ethiopia to come back to Cameroon, which is on the west coast. And it took me over 12 hours to travel to Cameroon from Ghana. So I think that these are some of the things that we need to push as well to say that, the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is around. What else can we do? So I've already spoken about collaboration amongst the film space and what we can do. And my esteemed panel have also touched on that. So I just wanted to touch on this bit
Thank you.
from the policy side of
Thank
things.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Francis, what would be the way forward for you in terms of resolving these things and, creating that environment, that energy where Nigerians and Ghanaians, what would be the next step for you?
The next step actually is multi-layered. It's not a one-way thing. So, from the governmental side, which is not just the Ghanaian government or the Nigerian government, I think ECOWAS or even the whole of AU, we need to really take the after policy serious, where trade within ourselves becomes easier. Like I need to be able to travel to Nigeria. Like I need to be able to pick my bags and just, yeah, I'm coming to Nigeria, I'm coming to meet a friend or a studio to discuss. But this is a case where every 2 seconds or every 3 minutes, the airfare is changing. Like literally, I had to pay about $1,000 to be here for flights, and it's just about 45 minutes. So when you think about some of these things, it discourages you, you know. So that is one thing. And when it comes to the artistic side, like individuals, I think we have, as I said, different talent pools. My friend Ayodele from Spoof Animation asked me one time at ANSI this year that, hey, guy, how is it that Ghana is always getting official selection at ANSI and we haven't gotten one? And Nigeria is known to have all the talent, right? So it means that there is something in particular that maybe Nigeria is not getting right, but Ghana is getting it right. So we would have to sit down and see where. And I see a lot of technical guys too coming from Nigeria, like super talented technical artists. But in my perspective, I think the reason why we are not getting selections for Nigeria is because of storytelling. So perhaps we all sit down and look at the pros and cons and also what we have and what we don't have, our strengths and weaknesses, and to strengthen the region first. Because it seems like on the West African region, Ghana, Nigeria is the strongest filmmaking countries. So if we're able to strengthen the region, then we can use the same template and cut it across the other regions.
Thank you so much, Femi. Thank you, Francis. That was quite insightful. Femi, what would be the
I
way
mean,
forward for you?
for me, I would say I think the honorable minister is here. You've spoken very well. I would say that you have done well, probably in the last 4 to 5 years. Prior to then, it wasn't like this. Way forward for us would be make it a lot easier because a lot of people just don't. The challenge I see when Nigerians go to Ghana to work is the legality of their stay. For us, we got to Ghana, we got registered the normal way, we're paying taxes there. For me, I have Ghana card. Well, it costs a lot of money to do that. To do that. So regular guys that are creatives cannot afford it. You know, if I have to, and then on a yearly basis, I have to renew my residency in Ghana. I think I pay maybe almost $750 or dollars or so, five something. It's quite expensive. Regular people, and this is not through. Initially, used to be through the our lawyer, but it got to a point we had to go directly. So my staff and myself, my team will go there and then we'll fix it. If you look at that, I checked in Nigeria, it's not as expensive for Ghanaians to operate here in Nigeria. So legality of your stay, one. Two, reorientation. You know, we have tested a lot of things. We have invested, I can say that. We have an office in Ghana and we are paying taxes right there. And we have trained a lot of Ghanaians. Like you rightly mentioned, Nigerians are very strong when it comes to equipment and all technicality of this production work. So we get to fly people either from LA down to Nigeria because there was I think 2 years ago we needed to film a particular show. We flew in that person down to, brought him down from Washington, D.C., and we had to film in Ghana. Now, the guys that are very good, the talents that are really good in Ghana are super expensive as well. They charge in dollars. We flew in that person so down to, brought him down from Washington, D.C., and we had to film in Ghana. Now,
can you hear me?
That are really good in Ghana are super expensive as well. They charge in dollars. We flew in that person so down to, brought him down from Washington. Okay. So I feel that we need some sort of we need an enabling environment for Nigeria. I love Ghana. I mean I love Ghana. I go there, but the environment, if you're not on a certain level, is going to be very difficult for you to operate in the market. So if you can fix a couple of those things, it will be easier. Also, in terms of getting licenses, I mean, we wanted to get a license on a TV license, and it's difficult doing that, especially for a genre that is not in existence in the market. So I mean, the major networks that would, and then like you also mentioned, content. You have too many. You have local content, but then why don't we have more Nigerian content there instead of the telenovelas on Max TV or on this TV station? So if we can really collaborate with Nigerians and then drop those taxes, I think things will work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Danny, can you hear us now?
Okay. So if we can really collaborate with Nigerians and then drop those taxes, I think things will work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Danny, can you hear us now?
I can hear you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
If we can
you hear me?
Collaborate with Nigerians and then drop those taxes, I think things will work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Danny, can you hear us now? Okay, unfortunately, we're having.
I can hear you guys, but can you guys can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
If we can
you hear me?
Collaborate with Nigerians and then drop those taxes, I think
because it's giving us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Danny, can you hear us now? Okay, unfortunately, we're having
I can hear you guys, but
difficulties.
can you guys, if you guys can hear me?
Yes, we can hear
So
you.
if we can
Can you hear
really
me?
Can we
collaborate with
just
Nigerians
can we
and
just
then drop
take
those
off the
taxes, I
Zoom
think
because
things will.
it's okay. Thank you so much. So we just go straight to you, Amma.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, that's on a lighter
Well,
note. Yeah,
um,
Amma, what will be your way forward?
yes, I am looking forward to us building on this partnership. But Femi, one of the ways we can fix this is what you already said, that Ghanaians want whatever you bring them to be localized. We want to see ourselves in there. You see, um, when you compare the population of Ghana to that of Nigeria, there's so much. And you already described how Nigerians are. You are, you can be very domineering. Yes, your culture is very loud. You are, and these are great attributes about yourself anyway. But nobody wants to come and be completely consumed. I told you how in time past, because of the collaborations we had and such an open market, even before we have the Continental Free Trade Agreement, people started saying mama instead of mama, okay? And now we are having that with content from other places. While I want to see more productions between us, I want these productions to be reflective of the collaboration. It shouldn't be so much about Nigeria. It should be about Nigeria and Ghana. Let us be fairly represented in there. And let's have the feeling and that we've also been accepted in your market, because there's a perception, and it's not just a perception, there's some truth to it. You are asking that we should allow you in and all, but how much of us is being allowed in currently? We've had acceptance in time past, but in present day, how much are you accepting us and the content we're bringing in? I'm sure that there are people that I can call in Ghana who are willing to work with you. I'm willing to do so. I'm currently trying to partner with Salvador. He's Nigerian. He's here, and to work on a production together. A friend and colleague of mine, Peter Sedufia, is shooting in Ghana currently in partnership with a Nigerian producer. So we are ready and willing to come into Nigerian market. But please do not think that because you already have over 200 million, that's a big market already. So don't think you don't need Ghana. You need Ghana as much as Ghana needs you to. Don't just test with us.
Thank
Because
you.
that's how it feels now.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Moses, so let's take from you what you consider the next steps.
I think it's important to also be realistic in all of this conversation. Collaborations are not easy. Um, the real sense of it, particularly creatively, there are egos, there are so many things involved. Even we as Nigerians collaborating with ourselves can be challenging. Not to talk of collaborating as two different countries. But it has been done, it can be done, it has been successfully done. And I think we need to highlight the learnings, what has worked well. I think we have a role to play, particularly with the intentionality of both governments and both agencies and the platforms like NiFS and Africa Cinema Summit. Let's go back to all those things that worked then. Let's create like a memoir. Let's create things. Let's hear people's experiences then. I think people can draw inspiration from that. I think it's useful to bring that back because we have, like I said, it's a whole list of very successful endeavor that has gone on. So that's important to
highlight.
have. I highlight. I just also think that we need to create incentives for this kind of collaborations. And again, it's for us to figure out how to make it work. But lastly, let's work to our strengths. I think in Nigeria we've done a good job in building our platforms, particularly the theatrical space and the cinema space, where we've built out the experience, the expertise, we've built out the industry that has become really, really regarded in Africa through a solid local content demand. So what can we do to bring that expertise to Ghana and help push the Ghanaian industry? Because what happens is, it's not that we don't want to take those films that you're talking about, but the consistency of the product and the quality of it is not enough, or it's not compelling enough. as it used to be. And that's of platforms. And I think that that's a real opportunity.
Thank you so much. It will benefit both. At the end of the day, what we are looking for is what will benefit both industries. And I think that the Ghanaian films that are not being shown in Nigerian cinemas, right? It's also like a market for revenue that is actually not being tapped, right? Because if Nigerian films are being released in Ghanaian cinemas, you would expect that the same thing should be happening. But I remember Potato in 2017 had a release, here. I don't know what the numbers were. Picture perfect. Perfect picture, yes. So we've got actually a history and a trajectory. So it's not like we're even trying to start something new, no. But we're just saying that let's get to that point where we'll begin to see Nigerians and Ghanaians in the same movie, and then at the end of the day, on the business side, both on the creative and the business side, we are making our bond stronger, and it will definitely go a long way to impact both the industry in Ghana and in Nigeria. So I want to say thank you. I hope you were not, the conversations actually touched on the major issues that we're trying to help in terms of collaboration, bringing collaboration between the two countries. Unfortunately, we are not able to take questions because our time is up. And but everyone here, they are here the next couple of days. Just to let you know, this evening, in the presence of the Ghanaian Culture Minister, we're having a delegate reception for the Ghanaian delegation here at the summit. So at 5 p.m., just out there at the Kanu Terrace, we're going to have another reception. And then tomorrow, courtesy of our partners, the Film House, also going to have a networking dinner for the Ghanaian delegation at the Film House Cinemas in Lekki. So please make sure that we make the most use. It takes a lot to put this together. So please, let's make the most use of this platform for networking and connecting with each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, IJ.